This is Capsule on liveandlimbo.com. My name is Sean Chin.
And I'm Andreas. This is an adventure into music, film, and pop culture.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. Apparently, I've not put as much thought and hard work as Pitchfork have been doing lately, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I've been pretty good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. This week, a lot of cool things are happening. Like Linkin Park is coming to town. They're my high school band. I think they're the first band
Well,
I really
that's
ever
good for you
connected
then,
with.
I guess.
Yes.
Are you going or?
Yeah, hopefully. I would like to. We'll see how it goes. Are you a fan of Linkin Park?
Used to be when I was younger. They were one of the bands, I guess, that got me into paying attention to more music. I feel like Linkin Park were kind of the Tim Burton for music fans, where Tim Burton I see as like Christopher Nolan, where a lot of people who don't know a lot about movies will recognize them as directors and check out more of what they've done. When we were kids, Linkin Park were one of the bands, I guess, like Blink-182, where you didn't just hear them on the radio. They were one of the few bands that a lot of people just took as their first band, and they would check out more of their stuff.
Yeah, that's good that you said that. They were, I think, the first band I really connected with. I don't know why that is, but also they weren't really niche per se because they had a lot of other musical influences like rock, rap, metal, techno, all that other stuff. So from that, I actually found Metric, which is weird.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah. And I guess they had two Asian people in the band for a mainstream group that was pretty unique, and it still is.
It is pretty big, and for that, that's actually a good thing. And it wasn't even just the fact that they had two Asian people in the band, but they also brought a lot of their styles into the group. Like artistically, they had a lot of anime stuff incorporated. Yeah. And yeah, I guess just not even musically, but thematically, they didn't have a lot of boundaries, which, yeah, I'm not like a big fan of theirs now. I've never hated them per se. I've always respected kind of what they've done, even when a lot of people have hated on some of their newer albums, like even 1,000 Suns anymore at all. A lot of people hated that album, but it was a noteworthy effort in my opinion, and that's just what Linkin Park does. They don't stick to one thing or have one fixated mindset. They kind of try everything without any means of boundaries. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of theirs anymore, but I've always had respect for them.
Like their new stuff is like okay, it's fine, but I was a big fan of like Hybrid Theory and Meteora and even Reanimation. Those were
You heard the
stuff.
Hunting Party, right?
Yeah, it's okay. It's good. I like it.
It's not fine. Bad. It's better than the album before, but
yeah.
Like,
seriously, when you think about it, what's the next big band with like at least one Asian person in it that's mainstream in North America?
I know I can
Movement.
answer this.
That's it.
Oh, but that they're just shit.
And they also needed a white chick to get there. So
I know I mince my words on this show because I have a foul mouth, but I try my best to be professional. But I'm sorry that just slipped out. But you want to talk about not having a niche or being gimmicky? Talk about being gimmicky. I mean, just the name of their group is Far East Movement. I mean, that's a gimmick right there.
Is it?
Absolutely. The fact that's kind of like their thing where it's like, hey, it's from Tokyo. They were famous because of Tokyo Drift, were they not?
I think so. But like they're the first all Asian band to make it to #1 on the Billboard. And so that's ceiling breaking.
Yeah, that's respectable.
I'll take it as an Asian. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing or the fact that they are called that and using this and that. But still, they are kind of like using a gimmick. But I mean, if that's what helped them, then sure, why not? But if in terms of like not having some sort of a gimmick, I don't know. I haven't really seen that yet.
What was your high school band? Like the high school band for you?
Well, okay. Linkin Park was my grade 7, grade 8 band. And because of that, Linkin Park and Gorillaz is my favorite in middle school, actually, which is weird. But after that, I guess I stuck more with the Linkin Park sound than the Gorillaz sound. And in high school, got into heavier music. So at first it was Korn, but once I got into like actual high school, I was listening to stuff like Slayer and Cannibal Corpse,
Oh, good for you. Yeah, there's I guess a
death,
few years between
yeah,
us. So,
yeah, stuff like that. Just like death metal,
did
some
you have
black.
an elementary school band? I don't really recall back then.
I never really had a band. Okay, when I was a kid, I liked because I used to.
Beethoven.
No, no, goodness, no. I didn't give classical music a chance. When I first moved to Canada, we listened to a lot of '60s on 1050 Chum, which is the radio station. I don't know if it exists anymore. So I like stuff like Beach Boys and Beatles.
That would be like
Stuff.
Boom. Boom. That's what they have now, right?
Well, yeah, but Boom's even more modern.
I
Like
actually like Boom.
Boom's not bad, but they have a very limited set list. It's a good one, but it's limited.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I like that. And then for some reason, I got into like I guess what we call Geno music. Like I was listening to Eiffel 65.
I think I
Um,
had a techno phase as well.
yeah, I think that's because before the techno phase, I was buying Big Shiny Tunes, which is so much music compilations they used to have.
Do you remember what's that guy's name? Darude, and he had that song called Sandstorm.
Oh, everybody remembers that route, yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Yes, but before that, I used to get Big Shiny Tunes, and they had stuff like Marilyn Manson that I like, Deftones, Bush, but then they had Prodigy, and I think because of bands like Prodigy and Chemical Brothers, I got into Geno music.
Yeah.
So yeah, Darude I liked, um, Gigi D'Agostino, I believe, Moby, all that good stuff, and yeah, I think the
Moby's
first
still cool. I like Moby.
he's hit or miss for me. He's done some interesting stuff for sure. But yeah, like the first band that I really checked out in full, and the first CD I got that wasn't a compilation was Linkin Park.
Fantastic. Okay, so like, what was your first concert that you ever went to?
My own doing, or like just in
Like in
general?
general, that you recall going to, like the very first concert,
Okay,
music concert.
there are two separate answers for this because one wasn't my own doing, the other one was when I was
That's a
in.
separate question. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was into stuff like Deftones and Marilyn Manson and stuff when I was 9 or 10, I think, my family bought tickets to see Cher. So
I guess like out of all possibilities, Cher's not the worst thing that could have happened.
no, obviously not. She
Yeah.
isn't. She's a great performer. But I mean, when you're a kid and you're not willing to give things a chance, like this is the phase when you won't even eat broccoli. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you listen to The Beautiful People on repeat, and you're told you're going to go see Cher. You know, it's like you're really not interested in the slightest. And it was actually on Halloween as well. So I was like,
Oh,
oh man,
that'd
I
be
want to
funny
go.
if both of them were playing like the same night, and then your parents were like, "Andreas, we have a special gift for you," and you're like, "Oh shit, Marilyn Manson tickets,
Oh god.
share."
No, they never knew I liked Marilyn Manson. That was one
Oh,
thing I kept a secret because when I was a kid, I was scared. I was like, "Oh my goodness, is it bad that I like him? I don't know."
oh.
um, no, I remember
Well,
actually
do
being
you
there.
remember the show with
I
Cher?
do. A lot of people were in Halloween costumes actually, and
Oh,
she virtually switched costumes every single song. It
where
went on
was it?
for
Where
like two
was it?
hours. Oh, it was either I think it was Skydome.
Oh
I
yeah,
think it was Skydome
Skydome, and then
or
Rogers messed it up.
the Rogers Center. No, I think it was at Skydome actually. There was either Skydome or AC. I don't. When did ACC get made?
Oh, much. Oh, that's a good question. I have
Because
no
this was
idea.
like 99 or
Yeah, I don't
2000.
think there was an Air Canada Center.
Yeah, so it must have been Skydome then. Yeah, so at the time I didn't appreciate it, but like now I could kind of say, yay, I saw Cher. That's pretty cool. Yeah, when I was a kid, I didn't appreciate it. My first show of my own doing, though, like again with the album thing, where it's like, okay, this is a band that I identify with. First concert I went to of my own doing was System of a Down.
That was the first one that you actively wanted to go to.
Yeah, that's the very first one.
Yeah. For me, my first show that I ever went to that I recalled was the free Britney Spears show at Markville Mall in Markham, Ontario, which is kind of random when you think about it because I don't think they've ever had any other concerts there. That was
Yeah,
like the only one sponsored by the now defunct Music World.
yeah. It's just so weird because it's almost like Jesus Christ is reborn. Okay, cool. And he's going to be at the Horseshoe Tavern. It's like, oh, okay. It's just really weird because somebody so big.
Well, I don't. What was she big at that time? I think she just
Um,
started. Like "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" like was out for like a week, And I
Okay, she wasn't like a mogul, but I mean, at that point, people knew who she was, and she was massive. That's why it worked out so
she
well,
could
that
have been a
show.
one-hit wonder easily. It could have went either way there.
Yeah, basically, she was one hit wonder level at that point, but everyone knew who she was. I mean, it was a huge
I had
success.
a crush on her. It was
I'm
her and the Pink Power Ranger, Amy Jo Johnson.
I think I'm one of the very few people who didn't really ever find her like she's not ugly or anything. I've just never been a fan of her look wise, Britney Spears.
Really?
As for the Pink Power Ranger, that's a whole nother story.
Wait, so were you like a Britney Spears person or a Christina Aguilera person? You have to choose one.
Oh goodness, I didn't like either, but I liked someone else instead. I know I did. I don't remember who it is
No,
right
like
now.
looks wise. You said Britney was not you.
Oh, look wise. Oh, Christina Aguilera.
See, you're like the dirty person on the edge.
Um,
And Britney was like the girl next door.
well, to be fair, she didn't have that phase when she first came out, Christina Aguilera, so I don't know about that, but it's weird because looking at my taste now, it kind of seems reverse because Christina Aguilera is light-eyed, she's got light hair, but I'm more to like dark hair and dark eyes, which is Britney Spears, which is weird. I don't know, it's just what I was like when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, we all have our preferences, I guess. And my first show that I actively, willingly wanted to go see and paid for myself that was in high school's music class with Mr. Pezzolato, and we had to write a concert review, and that was Sigaros at Massey Hall.
That's what's awesome about people like Mr.
Me.
Pezzolato.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say me. Okay. God damn it.
First of all, for a first show, that kills mine. I mean, I like System of a Down still, but Sugar Rose, that's a great first pick. But see, why did you go see Sugar Rose? It's because of people like Pezzolato, which said you have to. Like System of a Down, I heard they were coming to town. I said, yes, let's go see them. But you had to go see a concert, and you know what? How good was that show?
It was I think it's still one of the best shows I've ever been to.
And you went because of Pezzolato.
Well, yeah, I guess he gave me a reason, like a you have no other choice reason or you failed the class reason.
That guy is awesome, and
Yeah.
I feel so badly that I did everything in his class at the last minute. But one of these days I'll return.
Didn't you have to do a project like that too?
What year of music was that?
Oh my god, I think grade 12.
Really, I didn't have to do that for grade 12.
What about grade 11 then?
Nope, I didn't do grade 10 though, so I have no idea.
Oh, it could have been 10 then. Wait, what year was that? That was 2006 or 7, one of those.
I have no idea.
That's
I know.
the for attack for that album.
Oh, that would have been great. I had to make my own instrument. I made a tongue drum.
I never had to make my own instrument. That's interesting.
Maybe they switch it around where they're like, I see people are actually enjoying these concerts. Let's make them do something that's really difficult instead. Make your own instruments. Yeah, so that's what I had to do instead while you got to go see Sigur Rós.
Yeah, Sigaros was like they had like the big curtain thingy, and they had like the big silhouettes of them in the background when they opened up the show. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of the live sets
That's
on YouTube
amazing.
a lot.
And then the curtains pull away, and then amazing. And they did Untitled 8 to finish off the show.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay, so that's one of my favorite songs of the last decade. I think it's fantastic. One of my favorite drum solos as well at the end of that song.
It doesn't really get better than that.
Oh God, no! It's probably my favorite song of theirs. Actually,
And so,
fantastic song.
yeah. So, are you a Whovian?
Um, I haven't watched anything. What I keep saying is yes, there's a lot to get through, but a lot of people say no, don't start from the very beginning. Start from the new revival with the newer doctors, and even so, it's still a lot. I mean, okay, just to kind of put it out there once and for all, I've got nothing against Doctor Who. I will watch it one day. It's just because I've always given music a chance. I've always given movies a chance. I never gave TV shows a chance until like 6 years ago. And because there's so many TV shows that I've got to watch still, it's overwhelming. And because they take up so much time, you know what I mean? So like I'm slowly burning through a lot of TV shows. Like currently I'm on a fix of Mary Tyler Moore Show, and I think it's fantastic. So I want to wrap that up. And then after that, I've got to finish Orange is the New Black because I haven't
No, you
yet.
do not, because you're in luck. The
Why is
Doctor Who
this?
Series 8 premiere begins this Saturday, August 23, worldwide simulcast. And you're going to
But
watch it.
I can just watch it without any insight or anything.
Yeah, because it's a brand new Doctor.
But it's not like a new story. It's still the same Doctor. He just takes on a new form,
The
I'm
thing is
guessing.
that the way you look at this is we, like the viewer, take the role of the companion. And every time a new Doctor comes, you can feel free to jump on board. Yes, there will be some things that you don't get for, like back referencing and stuff. That's for the veteran fans. But new viewers can come on at any time when the new Doctor comes.
Okay, when is this again?
August 23, which is in 3 days.
Okay, you know what?
You're going to watch
What
it on Space.
Space? I was going to ask what channel it is, just for the sake of argument, or just why not? I'll give it a shot.
And you're going to review it. I'm not in the know.
I don't know if I should do that, because I feel like
This is Peter
even
Capaldi, too. Like, he's the new Doctor, and he's, like, well-known in the UK.
yeah, he's Scottish, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first Scottish Doctor, I believe.
No, I think David Tennant was.
But did he keep like his actual
Oh,
Scottish
no,
accent?
this guy will keep his Scottish accent.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So
And the companion is Jenna Louise Coleman, and she's nice.
didn't they just switch the companion, or
No, this one's been here for a while, but she'll leave Christmas.
okay? Because I heard something about
Yeah.
the companion leaving.
Yeah, I posted that. I was like, no.
See, I don't know a lot about Doctor Who, but I don't play ignorant with it. I at least try to somehow
The
understand.
show is about how the Doctor, like, we should always look at ourselves as the companion. Like, the show is about the companion, and the Doctor is guiding us through the universe.
Yeah.
And then you think I sound totally lame.
No, not at all. It's weird because a lot of things when I initially heard about Doctor Who with a huge fandom were a lot of silly things like, oh, look
Yeah,
at
there's
this
some
joke,
silly
look at that
things.
joke. But then there's some really interesting things that I've seen online, and I know they've been spoiled for me now, but I can't avoid them. Just some really interesting things where it's like, it's almost like Futurama, which is also a very silly sci-fi show, but just when it gets heartfelt, I mean, goodness, like it's not just creative about it, but it's actually real about it. And I noticed that with a lot of Doctor Who things, where it's like I've seen these random quotes, and being me, who's not even watched an episode, even I get a bit hit by it. Where it's like, whoa, okay, maybe there's something really there.
Let me see. I think there's actually like a preview for that. I have to look up what time that is. Like, they'll recap the history of Doctor Who.
Okay,
Like a half-hour thing before.
cool.
Yeah, so you'll check that out. I will definitely check that out. I'm super excited for it.
Well, I'll try and give it a watch, and I'll let you know what I think.
And so the music streaming industry continues to dominate the industry because Spotify, their sales are increasing. Well, not sales, their streaming analytics are soaring. So they have the top 50 tracks in the US that are playing right now. The number one track is Rude by Magic.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
okay.
And in total, streaming of these 50 songs have risen 108% to 62.1 million streams in the week.
Well, that's a good thing. And that's because they're opening to Canada now, or?
And well, I guess so. They're broadening out. But the same time of last year, the top 50 tracks at that time were only getting 29.8 million streams. So this is more than doubled streams.
Well, that's excellent then. I mean, this is good. And you know what's sad? The fact that this could have kind of been realized earlier, because I remember, God, 10 years ago, I'm getting old. 10 years ago, when I first used to listen to Pandora, when it first became a thing, it actually was available in Canada, actually. No loopholes, no ifs, ands, or buts. I used to listen to Pandora, and it's sad because I didn't really take advantage of it. I only discovered a lot of mainstream bands through it, but stuff like Placebo that I listened to for years afterwards, I discovered through Pandora. And I remember when the site actually first started showing the sign that said, we'll let you know when we open in Canada. Sorry, we have to take it down in your country. Give us your email. And I remember thinking, oh, this might take like a week or two. 10 years later, nothing. But luckily, with Spotify now opening its doors up a little bit more and figuring out all these legal issues, this fight that they're having against, I guess, piracy might actually start working because now they're fully realizing their capabilities as a streaming service.
Exactly. And so like there's a whole bunch of I get it's still like this whole concept of streaming still has to find its place. It's still a concept that hasn't found its full potential yet. And there's so many other services like RDO and Beats Music out there that are finding their own ways to penetrate the market. So we'll see how this goes. And speaking of Beats Music, did you find it interesting that they're the sponsors of Pitchfork's top 200 songs of the decade
So far.
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd include that.
I wanted to pause a little for some dramatic effect there.
That was
Songs
not
of the
planned.
decade.
That was
So
not
far.
planned. The fact that we actually said it at the same time, I thought he just forgot, but no, he didn't. So that was more dramatic than you even intended. I don't find it weird or surprising. I just find it. I don't even know how I find it. I don't find it peculiar, but at the same time, I find
You
it
weren't
just.
surprised by it. You're not shocked by it.
I'm not shocked by it, but at the same time, I've really taken notice of it. You know what I mean? Where it's
Yeah,
like,
you have to take notice of it, right?
yeah, it's like if
We
you
don't know what to
see-
make of it yet.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you see like a man dressed up as like a gorilla in the Toronto subway, instead of just being like, "Whoa, this is weird," you almost think to yourself, "Well, of course, why not?" And it's kind of how I feel about this, if that makes any sense at all.
Or it's like, oh shit, that is a real gorilla, and it starts running at you.
I still wouldn't be surprised because it's the TTC. No, I mean, Pitchfork, we'll get into this. Pitchfork's done a lot of things that have surprised me before, but at this point, it's like, why not? Sure. Okay. That's how I feel about this.
What I do really like is that they have their Pitchfork curated playlist on Beats Music. That's kind of like what I'm trying to do. So
Yeah.
we'll see. So,
Yeah. Actually,
so we're not going to go through all 200 songs because that's cray, and that's an official Oxford word now, thanks to Kanye West and Drake. YOLO.
So is twerk though, and I'm not taking that into any consideration at all. So I'm not using that as a viable source anymore.
That's cray.
But speaking of things that'll be interesting, I guess, because I refuse to say that word, even though I am a Kanye fan.
Cray.
You know the top 10 songs, which we'll get into, but I think we should start with albums first.
Okay,
because-
so I know what the top 10 songs are. I've listened to them, but I didn't even know they released the top album one yet. So this will be a surprise to me. So Andreas, lay it on me. What are the top 10 albums?
Okay, so the top 10 albums, keep your ears open.
I have headphones on. I can't do anything else.
Number 10, Fiona Apple with "The idler wheel is wiser than the driver of the screw and whipping cart will serve you more than ropes will ever do." I don't remember the full name. It's in tiny print, but they only put the idler wheel ... So I tried my best. Sorry for butchering that.
Fiona Apple's nice. Wait, so what year is this starting from again? So of the decade so far. So
2010.
10. Okay. So 4 years in. Okay.
And if you've read a lot of Pitchfork, you can pretty much guess what number 1 is, but we'll get there.
Okay. Fiona Apple. Okay, that's fine.
Number 9 from this year, actually, which is basically spoiling what's going to be the top of this year's list, Sun Kill Moon with Benji, who I'm actually going to cover in October, or September, I lied, which will be really good because Sun Kill Moon's been at it for a while, but this project of his hasn't really picked up until this album. So you know what? Good for him. This is good. Have you heard Benji yet or no?
No.
If you're
I've
into
heard good
lo-fi-
things about him, yeah.
Yeah, if you're into like lo-fi kind of folky music with really dark lyricism, Sun Kill Moon. There you go. Number 8, Kanye West with Yeezus.
I guess so. Like yeah, that's I'm gonna say I'm surprised it's not higher on their list. It's a very influential track or disruptive album, I would say.
Actually, I'm not too displeased with the top 10 albums. I approve of a lot of them actually, and agree to some extent.
You liked
So
Yeezus. What did you give it?
I love Yeezus. It was my third highest album of the year, I believe.
Like
After
what rating? Do you
Sunbather and
remember what you
MTV.
gave it?
9.7, I believe.
Ooh.
I think it's a terrific album, absolutely. Number 7, Tame Impala's Lonerism.
Yeah, Tame Impala's great.
They are good. That's a bit surprising because that album, with whatever year it came out for them, wasn't ranked as high as it is in accordance to what those albums were on this list either. So I'm guessing they actually bumped it up from how they originally felt about it. That's pretty cool. Number 6, which topped last year for them, and actually beat Yeezus for them last year, Vampire Weekend's Modern Vampires of the City.
So this one was their number 1 album of 2013.
Yes, it was.
And it did not... Oh, it only made number 6 of like the last 4 years. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Which is understandable.
I'm not a huge fan of theirs, but I know they're good.
I wasn't a big fan of theirs, but I adore that album, actually. That's their first album of theirs I actually bought. I
need a beat.
What's that?
I need a beat.
They have beats.
No, I know. I'm joking.
What do they have a really good percussion system or percussion system going on? There we go. I don't know what you're talking about. With all their African rhythms. Anyways, number 5, which is a very worthy album for me, but I'd actually rank it higher myself, which I'll get into in a second, actually. Or at the end of the show, rather. Beach House's Teen Dream.
Yes, Beach House is great. And you'll also be covering them.
Absolutely, I will be. Beautiful, beautiful album. If you haven't heard it yet, then my goodness, you must. Number 4, which I think is ranked a little bit high, but it's still a really good album. Frank Ocean's Channel Orange.
Yeah, Frank Ocean's great. I love Frank Ocean.
He is terrific, but again, I think it's a little bit high, but still, it's a terrific album. Number 3, which like Lonerism, actually I think got bumped up for in accordance to this list than the list of 2010 or when this album came out. So again, this album got promoted, I believe. Deer Hunter's Halcyon Digest.
Never heard of that.
Oh God, it is a great album. It is Deer Hunter are one of the most consistent bands of our time. Absolutely, they're just fantastic, and this album could be their best. I'm still undecided, but the fact that this is high up, good for them.
Yeah, it's good recognition for anyone.
You should really check out this album. It's
great. I will.
Number 2.
Now we're getting up to the big leagues. Yes.
Here we go. Number 2, which I found a bit surprising, again, in comparison to the other albums. Number 1's not surprising for me at all, but number 2, I think, is not a bit high, but like just surprising that I made it this far. Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City. I know that they love this album. They said it was the best of 2012. But even so, again, in relation to how the other albums got rated numerically and within their year, I didn't expect it to be number 2. That's pretty high. Like, good for Kendrick. It's a great album, obviously, but still.
They wanted to show that they had street cred.
Have you heard the album, though?
Yeah, no, I liked it.
I think it's terrific, especially...
He's a great performer himself, too, in the album as a whole. It was really well done.
Did he perform it all live?
When? Like, I'm referring to his performance with Imagine Dragons.
Oh goodness! Oh, I thought you meant that you covered them live.
No.
Not them. Him. It's Kendrick Lamar's one person.
Kendrick and Lamar.
Kendrick and Lamar. Good Kid is Kendrick. Mad City is Lamar. Kind of like a speaker box love below with Outkast. Anyways, no. So that's number 2, which I think is great because it's a groundbreaking hip hop album, great concept album. But then we get to a concept album that was groundbreaking again in hip hop, a little bit more so. It's being called the Sgt. Pepper's of hip hop. You know what I'm talking about. She's not hip hop at all.
Oh, well.
Number 1, which isn't surprising to me, to any Pitchfork reader, because of its 10 out of 10, the first since Wilco back in the last decade, Kanye West's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yes.
Not surprised?
Kanye West. Go Kanye West. I'm kind of surprised, but not really surprised.
I'm not surprised at all. They gave this album a perfect rating. Every publication's...
They just keep fueling his ego, though.
But at the same time, I think this album is justified.
You can't take away credit where credit's due, but it's just fueling the fire.
That's the thing. Now, with some news over here, before this actually got announced, which is kind of infuriating because I've had this idea for a while. You can ask Sean and a few other people that work with Live in Limbo. I've wanted to do a half decade list myself for albums, performances, films, and songs, and I've been actually working on it. And Pitchfork does theirs really early. I was going to do mine at the end of the year. What can you do? Now it seems like I'm going to be copying them, which sucks.
No, if
But
you do it at the end of the year, no one will remember this one because everyone forgets things after 10 days.
I hope not. Kanye
I
West.
hope you have a backup file just in case.
Well, I've got everything a text edit. That's how I work with these lists. So I've already started everything. I've already started compiling everything. I've got My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy on there. It's not number one for me, but
No,
it's really damn high.
But like
It's
your computer's old, so I would back that up.
I'm trying to work
Email it to yourself or something.
Yeah, I will. I'm trying to work on that. It'll be fine. No, they have high praise, but every publication's had high praise. Even Rolling Stone, when they revamped their best albums of all time list, or 500, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy still made it pretty low within the 300s. But hey, that's just because it came out the year or two before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's loved this album. I'm not surprised. Again, they gave it a perfect rating. They rarely do that with new releases ever.
Kanye West.
I'm not surprised. You want to talk about beef, though? The beef I have, a lot of things I don't agree with. Let's get to the songs. With
Okay, let's do this. This one I can put more input into.
Because you've actually listened to all these songs. Number 10, which I disagree with, and I disagree with the fact that it topped last year's list of best songs to 2013.
It's the Prince of Canada himself.
Oh my God, don't even. The Prince. Prince lives in Richmond Hill. Yeah. I think that alone. All right, never mind. I'm not going to dignify that with anything more. Number 10, Drake's Hold On, We're Going Home. I don't like Drake. That song, I'm not going to lie, I actually don't have a problem with it. I think it's actually kind of good. That's one of the few Drake songs I actually like.
Where he actually sings.
He does it a lot, though. No, but I mean, I'm not against Drake as a person. I just don't like his music that much. I've actually listened to all of his albums. I've given every single one of them a chance. I just find them a little bit boring. But I like this
Drake
song.
As a personality is great for Canada. And
for
the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah. Except for the fine he gave them. No, but to be fair, I'm actually on his side, which is weird for that. Anyways, it's not about that. It's about this song. I actually kind of like the song. I actually like it a lot.
Yeah, I don't mind listening to it in the background.
But best of last year and 10th best of this decade so far.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of steep, yeah.
That's incredibly high. I don't agree with that at all. Sorry, Drake. I like what you've done with the Raptors. Number 9, which is off the album I told you to listen to, Halcyon Digest, Deer Hunter's Helicopter.
I actually really love this track. It's very dream rock popish.
Okay, so you have heard a song off that album then, actually. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. In my personal opinion, I don't think it's the best on the album. That's not to say it's not good. I think it's fantastic, but...
Well, yeah, this whole list made by Pitchfork does not have, like, the best tracks of each artist's album. Like, I think they only took, like, the hit singles.
Yeah, I think they based a lot on singles. I'll get to that, though, because one or two songs I have to disagree with, but we'll get to that when we get to those songs. But that's not to say that Helicopter's not a good song. It's a great song, but just the whole album is so fantastic that you might have people who favorite each and every single song on there. It's just a great, great album. You should really check it out. Number 8, actually, which I do agree with him here, even though it is a single, Frank Ocean's Pyramids.
This song I like too because it's a nice, chill out dance track that you would listen to in a lounge or something like that.
This, to me, is where you get the new age Prince, not Drake. This is the new age Prince.
No, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And you heard the whole 10 minutes?
Yep.
Okay, because it gets it gets really slowed down towards the latter half there. But
it's like anti-progressive.
I guess in a sense. Actually, this song got bumped up as well because it made their list. 2012, I believe this album came out. It made their list of best songs for that year as well, but it didn't rank up as high as it's placed here, I guess.
It's like if Radiohead was an ultra light lounge band that did prog rock backwards.
Well, it's a great R&B track because I love the imagery, I love the double entendres, I love the fact that you don't even know it's about a prostitute at first, but then once you realize it is, it gets so much more depressing.
Because the pyramid turns upside down.
I suppose. I don't think that's why it's called pyramids, but okay. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of imagery there. A lot of it actually commentates on the R&B culture while using a lot of metaphors and a lot of depressing symbolism. It's got a narrative that's really sad, not just for the prostitute, but for the narrator himself. You feel like a lot of
He got
his.
ripped off.
I don't think that's what it's about at all.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I think it's the fact that he becomes attached to this person. Nonetheless, it's a great song. It's got a high, it's got a come down. I think it's great. Number 7, Azalea Banks.
I actually never heard of this
Two.
track or heard before, and I got excited because I thought it was Iggy Azalea.
No, there are two female rappers that came out at the exact same time with the word Azalea in their names. Just
What is the
huge
chance of that?
It's a huge coincidence, yeah. I don't know how I feel about this song. I think it's
This
like
is probably the
like
most annoying song on the whole list.
all 200 or the top 10.
Like the top 10 and maybe like the top 100.
I'm not a fan of this song.
No, me either. I don't know why it's there.
See, Pitchfork will
They
come
just
out.
randomly put it there.
Yeah, they'll come out with a song that just doesn't fit their mold at all. Like they love Carly Rae Jepsen, Call Me Maybe. They love Nicki Minaj's Super Bass.
To be fair, though, Call Me Maybe had like a big influence on the entire world.
I don't know if it did that, but I think it had as much influence as a meme can have. I don't know. I don't dislike the song, but like just the fact that it's featured at all, I don't know. That doesn't make sense. It's Pitchfork's lists. Another questionable pick, which I have a lot more that I could identify with, but still for Pitchfork it seems a bit iffy. Number 6, Robin, Dancing on My Own.
Questionable?
No, I like the song,
Oh,
but
this song is one of my favorite songs. Yeah, Dancing on My Own. Dancing on My Own by Robin.
I mean, it's questionable for Pitchfork. Did you imagine that they would have ever like shown so much affection towards a song like this?
No, not really.
That's what I mean.
I actually think this one deserves to be in like the top 3.
Whoa, okay. That's high praise then.
I love this song. This is probably my favorite track on the whole list.
We haven't gone into
This
mine
might be
and-
my number one.
Oh yeah? Well, we
From
haven't hit
these
some
10.
we haven't hit any noteworthy ones just
Yeah.
yet. Well, pyramids we did, but we'll get to some of the really big ones because we still got a
5
still
more.
got a few to go through. Yeah. But yeah, it is a great song.
You're surprised by this one?
Oh,
To appear on their list?
yeah, I am, and it's a good surprise. That's the thing. Unlike Azalea Banks, where I'm kind of very distant with their praise, this one I like the song. It's fun. I like it. Number 5, I'm actually really pleased with this because last year they said another one of his songs, which was another single, was better than this. This is one of my favorite songs off Good Kid, Mad City. Kendrick Lamar's "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe." I like the fact that yes, this is another single that they picked, but if they had to go through Kendrick Lamar's singles, this would be the one to go with. It's a great song.
Do you not feel like it's kind of sexist?
Well, you've said you've heard the whole album in full, right?
Yeah.
Well, the whole point of the album, I guess, for those who haven't really listened to it, the concept is it's about a rapper starting out from, the kind of poor area, getting big, but also getting indulged in crime and everything. But here's the thing. It doesn't just talk about that thematically. It also says, he also says this through the way he actually raps. So the first 3 or 4 songs are, misogynistic a little bit, just about money and, the typical rap themes you can get. But that's because his character didn't know any better when he was first starting out as a rapper. And he gets more mature and gets a lot more philosophical as the album goes on.
And now he has "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe."
That's the second song in the album.
Okay, yeah, I know.
That's when he's starting off. The whole song, I guess, "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe," is about him feeling high and mighty, but he's basically saying, "Don't ruin it for me." Yeah, it's the second song in the album, so that's still when he's in that immature phase. But the music itself isn't immature. I mean, the actual beat and everything is so airy and spacey sounding. I like it a lot. It's really nice. But yeah, out of context, I guess it won't make a lot of sense why he raps this way or why a lot of people hold him such regard. He's still great though. His flow is incredible in it, but in context, it speaks 10 times louder, and I think it's a great song of his. Number four, I don't know if I feel this is the best song from this project. It is a terrific one. It is the biggest song from this project, I think, ever. Not never mind just this decade or this album. And M83's Midnight City. Everyone's heard this song by now.
All right, this is a good track, but it's very predictable. I love these guys, and they did the soundtrack to the film Oblivion, which I also really loved. Like, this song should be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this song, I thought you had something more to say.
Oh, no.
You kind of pull the Heidi Klum from America's Got Talent, where she'll say something like, you know, you're terrific, you're great, you're everything we need. And that's kind of where she stops. But she does it all the time. You've only done it once. It's okay. M83, if you haven't heard this album, Hurry Up We're Dreaming, it's beautiful. It's a great double disc. It was one of my favorites of that year, 2011. I don't know if it's my favorite song off it, but it is a single that kind of exploded their career, even though they've been around for a decade beforehand. It's still a great song. You probably heard it in the Victoria's Secret commercial or any commercial. You probably heard any of their songs in so many movie trailers now. My favorite of this album still Steve McQueen, but Midnight City's still excellent. Especially that saxophone solo is beautiful.
Can you like do it with your voice?
Or whatever. Anyways,
That was great. That can be our intro music.
Onto things that have to deal with... No, please don't. Onto things that actually have to deal with a lot of embarrassing themes, actually. Number 3, which I think is a stellar track, actually. Kanye West's Runaway featuring Pusha T. I say there's a lot of embarrassing things connotated with this because of the actual theme of the song itself. The fact that he's kind of humiliated himself, first of all, with exposing his nudity to somebody through a text. The fact that he's kind of questioning who he is as a person. What do you think of Runaway? Of course, it's yet again, they picked another single, but I think it's a great song to begin with.
No, I like it too. Yeah, Kanye is pretty cool.
And speaking of innovation, the vocoder solo at the end, yes, it's been done before, but in hip hop, it's hard to find something like that, let alone go on for like 3 minutes.
Can you rendition it with your voice again?
No, that I need an actual digital.
I tried, guys. I tried.
How does it go again? It's like or something like that. I don't remember. I actually can't do it without the vocoder at all. That was so way off. I actually can't remember it too well.
That's fine.
No, but it's not my favorite song off of this album.
They didn't choose like the best songs from the album.
No, I know they went with singles, but out of the singles for that album, yeah, that is the best one. Runaway is a great song actually. If you really dissect it as a hip hop song, it's got a lot of things going on, even a lot of things not going on, because a lot of it's very minimalistic, but that also speaks volumes. I guess that's kind of why he went with the approach he did with Yeezus. Same thing, minimalism kind of amplifies instead of detracts. Number 2, which is my favorite, the segue here is that it also plays a little bit of minimalism, but we'll get there. Number 2, which is my favorite out of their top 10, is Ariel Pink's Haunted Graffiti, Round and Round. I love this song.
This is the most classic or traditional song on the list, which is great. I like this song too.
Yeah, and again, minimalism, the fact that it dates back to so many retro themes and styles.
I'm surprised it's number 2.
I'm not. The only song that beat Kanye West in 2010, when everyone was praising Runaway, the only song that Pitchfork loved more than Runaway is Round and Round. And I remember when I first read that, I didn't know Ariel Pink's Haunted Graffiti. I was confused. I said, what? Okay, I don't even know what this is. I remember I gave it one chance, and I said, this is ridiculous. What is this? I don't even know why I gave it another chance, but for 4 years now, I've not been able to stop getting it out of my head. It is a great song. The album itself is great too, actually. I can't remember the album name right now.
That's fine.
But
Don't worry. It's about
uh,
tracks.
exactly. But it's from that album. Actually, I can find out right now because they featured it before today. There we go. I just went back to the albums list. Yeah, before today's a great album, and most of the album doesn't even sound like Round and Round. It's very different in genres and styles. Like just everything that Ariel Pink does with Hunter Graffiti is throwback to retro styles and artistic renditions of nostalgia, I guess. I remember seeing a lot of people even questioning if this is a song that even came out this decade, let alone, being one of the best of this decade. A lot of people thought this was from like the 80s because that's how it sounds. But I think it's a beautiful song, though. Just the fact that it's got such a groovy bass line, the harmonizing vocals in the chorus that comes so far into the song that you don't even see it coming the first time you hear it. It's a great song.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
So you don't have any issues with it then, right?
Nope, that's
okay.
fine.
Because you will be singing on my list.
Okay, no, nothing's wrong with that.
Now, number one, before we get here, number one.
Let's set the stage.
We love this artist. We think she's fantastic. 100%. We've seen her live. She was terrific, was she not?
She's adorable.
Is this song not fantastic?
I think I said that weirdly. She's adorable.
Well, she is. And she is, so you can't really go around that. But like this song specifically, you have no problems with it, right?
No. This song is fine.
I will say it's not my favorite song of hers. One of her songs is actually going to be featured very highly on my list. It's not this one, but one of them. But to be a number one pick for the decade so far out of 200 picks,
yeah.
This did top their list of 2012. So you kind of could see it coming, but at the same time, it's very, very high. But you know what? Good for her. I don't know if I agree with it, though. I don't know if you do either. Grimes' Oblivion is number one.
It's an awesome track. I don't think it should be I'm happy that it's number one, but I think something else could have been number one, but I guess I suppose it's hard to place anything as number one though, right? Out of all of these 10 contenders, except for Drake, I think maybe, and Azalea Banks, any one of these could have been number one. And I guess if it had to be one, maybe Grimes won it by like 0.001 points on their scale.
Well,
something
the way
has
I
to
see
win.
the way I see it is, I don't agree with it being number one, but at the same time, I won't say it won't deserve it. I won't say, how could this be? I'm not outraged. I still think the song's great. I still think Grimes herself is fantastic. It just, the way I see it is, this is their list. It's not mine. That's how I see it. I'm very proud of her, especially as a Canadian musician. I think she's done very well for herself. And this is just, it's not even what she needs right now because she's doing so well right now. It's just another thing that's adding to her success, which I'm very grateful for. My personal pick for favorite Grimes song, which I guess is going to spoil, which is going to be on my list at the end of the year, Be a Body. If you haven't heard this song, you really want to see the kind of artistry that Grimes herself is capable of. This song's where it's at. It's got so much going on. Have you heard that song?
Nope.
You have live. I know that because I saw her with you.
Yeah. Wait, which one again?
Be a Body.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was messaging someone by accident. Sorry.
Oh, during the podcast. Oh, my goodness. If this isn't work related, then shame on you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No, but that's...
Grimes is like amazing live, like a performer. This song, yeah, I guess so. It deserves to be here.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I remember seeing videos of Grimes live when she was first getting big. Yes, she's been making albums before she really hit it, but when she first got big in 2012, and I was kind of questioning how she would be live because I saw a lot of videos and I wasn't really happy with them. She's evolved a lot, and she put on an excellent performance when we went to go see her at Time Festival. And
yeah, despite the rain.
Yeah, despite the rain, she made it well worth it because she was just phenomenal. And the fact that she's getting praise like this, I mean, good for her.
Yeah, good for her. And she's Canadian. The Canadian got number one.
Yeah. And not even just that. If this is like the start of her career, Like, let's look at number two. Ariel Pink's Haunted Graffiti, Round and Round. Ariel Pink has been around for a pretty long time, considering. Like, he's like 36, I think, now. And let's look at Kanye West. He's in his 30s. He's in his mid 30s at this point. He's been around for over a decade. M83 has actually been around for like around a
I
decade.
think
He's in his
Grimes is the
30s too.
youngest, eh?
I don't know about that because Kendrick Lamar is pretty young,
Mm.
and so is
Drake.
Frank Ocean. Drake's older, but like Deer Hunter is like in the early 30s as well. Grimes hit number one on this list during her phase of just hitting it in the industry. So if that's not promising, I don't know what is. Because that's pretty big.
Yeah, it's huge. Okay, so those are the top 10.
Yeah.
And even outside, like even in the rest of the 200, what songs do you think should have been in the top 10?
Well, I don't want to say that because I've got my own list at the end of the year,
Oh, yeah,
right?
that's
But,
right. Okay, maybe you can ask me that question.
there we go. So basically, before I ask again, I'm going to be doing a list of 25 each for the best performances, best films, best songs, and best albums at the end of the year, as well as the annual list of the best of the year at the end of the year as well. I'll release the end of the year first, and I think either the last day of the year or the first day of the next year, I'll release the 25 best of the decade so far.
I think we did last year. You can check that out. We had our 2013 version, and what we did was we released each one of those categories over a month.
Week.
Yeah, a week, like every week for the month. So there was like 4 categories.
Wait, over the month. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like in December. No, in January or something.
No, it's December.
No. Oh.
It was.
Yeah,
Because
okay. Yeah.
I refused to have it in January because then it's dated.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. you're right.
So while we have to wait a while for that, let's find out from Sean right now. What are some picks of songs and albums that you think were missed entirely from 2000 to 2014?
Well, I'll do tracks. So this
Okay.
one came out like 2 days ago, and it's "Shake It Off" by Taylor Swift.
Well, first of all, I don't know if they had that in mind when the list just came out. But you're really into that song?
That song is amazing.
Now,
I love Taylor Swift.
do you think you're gonna like that
She's
song within 5 years?
Probably. I
All
Knew
right.
You Were Trouble. That song still sticks in my head.
Okay. No, nothing against Taylor Swift. I'm not a fan of hers at all,
Okay.
but I've got nothing
I
against
think
her.
more seriously, I guess, Disclosure's Latch. I would put that in the top 10.
I
with Sam
really love White Noise myself.
Yeah, I know
with
that
Disclosure.
you like White Noise.
Any Disclosure song though is pretty awesome. So there you go. That's a pretty understandable pick. What about anything else? Like even from like 2000 or 2010? Do you have anything from there or?
I see. For me, I don't remember like dates when things were released unless I look on the track and see what date. I wanted to see Lord on the list somewhere on number 10.
Yeah,
I like Sia's Chandelier.
that's not a bad song actually. I actually do kind of like that. Sia is bad for me because she'll make me listen to things that I wouldn't like except for her voice. For something that
really?
her voice does is just insanely contagious. I don't know what it is. Like David Guetta, the only song I like of his is Titanium. There we go. I actually had to play the entire chorus in my head because I forgot the song name. I was like, Bulletproof, Nothing to Lose. Okay, what is it? Titanium. There we go. That's the only song of his I like, and I think it's possibly because of her voice.
How come Coldplay didn't make the list?
I don't think Pitchfork likes Coldplay in the slightest.
Man, A Sky Full of Stars is such a good song.
I don't think they like their newest album at all. I'm pretty sure they gave them like a 4 point something out of 10.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else did I like?
I'm not surprised they didn't have Coldplay at all.
How
They
come
don't
there's no
like-
Lady Gaga on it?
It's weird because I don't think they've really taken notice towards Lady Gaga except for the Fame Monster, which they gave a pretty high rating actually, like a 7.9, I think.
Arcade Fire was not on it. The top 10.
They've had some songs. This one not not top 10 though. They've had a number of songs scattered in the 200. I know that for sure because
And
I
what
saw.
about Burial?
They had. Oh, they did. They had a few songs.
Why is he not in the top 10?
I'm not sure, but
That's one I would have put in the top 10.
um, what songs did they have? I know this. Stolen Halo, I think is one. That's the song,
Yeah,
right?
but like that's not in the top 10. Why couldn't they replace like Azalea Banks or Drake with them?
That's a question you've got to ask them. I don't know. All I know is
They
on
can
my
remove
list.
Azalea Banks, leave Drake. Drake is okay.
Yeah, Drake's
It's
not
good
bad.
to have two Canadians in there.
There you go. On my list personally, you know this already. Other people won't. I won't say which song. I won't say what position. I do have a burial song, and it's not moving.
That's good.
It's not, the song's not Stolen Halo. It's Street Halo. By the way, I'm an embarrassment. I say
That's
it like
fine.
burial, and I say the Stolen Dog. I think is the song name, isn't it?
Yep.
The other one.
Wait. So question. So do they do like a full decade one at the end of the decade,
Absolutely.
or they just only do every half decades?
No, they do a full.
That would be
decade.
hilarious if they only did half decades.
No, they do full decades. Like last decade, actually. Do you know who topped it?
No, who?
Kid A,
Oh,
Radiohead.
that's fine. Wait,
Yeah.
wait. So of the last 10 years?
Yeah, like the actual full 10 years.
Yeah.
And even the half decade when they did that back in 2004, it was Kid A, which actually got 10 out of 10 instantly from them when they came out.
Yeah, I know. That's one of my favorite albums, like ever.
Which came out at the very beginning of that decade too.
Yeah.
I think history's
Kid
repeating
A is
itself with
awesome.
Pitchfork. History's repeating itself with Pitchfork because we're seeing the exact same thing with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Kanye West.
You think so?
It's topped their half decade list.
So
They-
you made the prediction
10
now
out of 10.
then.
I made the prediction that it was going to top their decade list from ages ago because I know how they are with giving perfect ratings. They are very, very rare on it. It's not even just Pitchfork. Every publication has given unanimous praise towards this album. Like this album, even if you like Kanye West or not, when it comes to critical praise, is pretty much the highest album that there is right now, bar none of our time, this era. What else can you think of that has gotten this much praise? I can't think of anything.
Nothing else. No.
There isn't anything else. And again, that doesn't mean you have to like Kanye West, or if you don't know anything about music. Doesn't mean that. What it does mean though is that I'm calling it now. This is going to top Pitchfork's best of the decade list in 5 years' time. Calling it now.
Okay. Well, we have this podcast as a record. So.
You see, that's the problem because when I made the first call for the half decade, nobody was recording, nobody was listening. One or two people might have said, "Yeah, okay, sure." This is set in stone, and watch in like 2 weeks when Andrew WK or something comes out with a new album, and it's like, "This is surprising. We didn't used to like him this much." 10 out of 10. Then I'll be eating my own foot. It's gonna be terrible, but. Might as well make might as well make a fool of myself. So there we go. I'm doing it live.
And so I guess that completes our wrap up of Pitchfork's top 200 of the decade so far.
And the top 100 albums.
Yeah, so far.
They also released. I'm not going to go into it because I don't believe it's actually ranked. I think it's just 50 music videos, the 50 best music videos of the half decade so far, and that's a good time waster right there if you want to have a lot of fun looking at some really cool music videos. I know we haven't really gone into it at all, again, because I don't think it was ranked, so I don't know which one they consider the absolute best, but it's worth checking out because you can't really go wrong with music videos.
No, yeah, music videos are, well, I think they've been decreasing, but yeah.
Really? I've seen some really interesting ones. Like even, let's take Drake, for example. Hold On, We're Going Home. Like I said, I like the song, maybe not as much as they do, but the music video is pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's all right. I listen to songs mainly, though.
Yeah, I'm not too big on music videos, but some music videos under the right hands can be some of the most creative, imaginative
Like
stuff you can see.
Metronomy's video for their last single. I like that one with like the watercolors.
Right, that was a good one actually.
I
In
like stuff
mind,
like that.
yeah, in mind, I had like a lot of like Michel Gondry videos, which I guess is
Nothing will ever beat my favorite. Aha's Take on Me. Nothing will beat that one.
well. See, there you go. Can you? That could only exist in two things: a music video or a short animated film. That couldn't exist as a whole
Like,
movie.
I don't even know how they had that technology to do that back then.
I have no idea, but thank God they did because it's still an excellent music video.
Like that music video, when was that made? That was like
86 or something.
80, yeah, 84. 84.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. That's well, good for them because it's still a really good. Think about it, like 4 years before with Once in a Lifetime, Talking Heads, amazing song, but goodness, that music video.
Oh, wow. What can you
Oh my goodness, that music video is more dated than I've ever been.
do? Is
Which
this
is
the last?
really sad.
Is this the last podcast of the month, or is it? No, no. There's one more week. But anyways, September is going to be huge for us.
We've got
lots
a
of
lot.
lots of concerts to go to,
Absolutely, and a lot of interesting things coming up, which we won't get into yet, but you'll find out when the month comes.
and right now I just got it in. We're going to be covering Riot Fest, so that should be
Oh,
cool.
yeah!
With the Cure.
Wait, am I included?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, you're reviewing. Sarah Ricks is photographing or shooting. Yeah.
This is amazing because Riot Fest could be the biggest festival of the year, and this is after we did CMW. This is after we've done NXNE.
Well, we got approved for pretty much. No, we did get approved for every single festival.
Right, which is good. This is a big improvement on the site, or not improvement, but like big progression. There we go.
Yeah.
Of the site.
Keep it rolling.
Exactly. And Riot Fest, as you said, has The Cure, which I don't know if they'll do it for a festival, but I do know that they sometimes, well, actually most of the time, play like 3-hour sets where they play like 2 albums in their entirety. Like this could be massive. And that's not even just it. The rest of the lineup, I mean, you have City and Color, you have Brand New, you have The Flaming Lips. Do you have a list in front of you, or?
There's a huge list. Like Billy Talent's gonna be there. But I've never actually seen Billy Talent live. I've always wanted to do that.
Are you going to Riot Fest, or?
No, just you.
Oh, I'm sorry then.
No, it's fine.
I'll
Flaming
keep you
Lips,
posted.
Death from Above.
1979, newly reunited.
Metric is gonna be. I don't think they've played for a while live.
Didn't they? Because they just released an album like last year, didn't they?
The Antwoord's gonna be there. That's gonna be cool. That's kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
weird for the list.
Oh yeah, let's join my South African
Yeah,
brethren.
your
There
South
we go.
African friends.
D. Antwoord. Thank you for actually pronouncing it correctly, by the way.
Yes.
Because everyone's like, "Hey, bro, have you heard Die Antwoord?"
Like, no,
I'm not even a big fan of theirs, but D. Antwoord, come on.
it's the answer.
Yeah,
That's what it means.
I'm not a big fan of theirs, by the
Can
way.
you
Yes,
speak Afrikaans?
No, but if I stayed in South Africa, I would be able to. I actually have a lot of cousins who can a little bit because I believe it's mandatory in schools to learn
That's
for a few
funny.
years. It's not funny. It's like us learning French. That's basically it.
Which is also funny.
I don't know if it's funny, but okay.
All right. Where can all of our listeners find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Andreas Babs.
You can find myself at Sean Chin. You can follow the show on Twitter at Live in Limbo and use the hashtag Capsule Podcast to join in on the conversation. Please subscribe to this show on iTunes. And as always, you can find the show notes at liveinlimbo.com/capsule. Take care.
Have a good one for another half decade and few months more.
Bada boom.